Good morning, everybody. Hope y'all having a good day. Today, I want to take a little bit away from what's been going on. We've been hearing everything that's build up going on in the Middle East, Iran, etc., etc. Not so much about Ukraine, and we kind of pushed that off to the side, but most of our attention is on Iran. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Why Iran? One of the things I want to bring out first, guys, back somewhere around 2016 to 2018, there was a meeting between the heads of state in the Middle East and several world leaders, religious leaders, and things like that, that finally decided that this whole area is going to come under the rule of the one world order for one reason or another. And Iran was one of the ones that signed on with the deal. They determined that Iran will be invaded, overthrown, the government toppled, just like Iraq and everybody else was. And the president of Iran was in agreement with this, that it had to be done. So, it's kind of planned out, guys. So this is kind of odd that as far as we know, Iran, which is a little bit over this old country right here, now it's pretty good size and everything like that, but they worried about Iran having nuclear weapons. Well, I call BS on this, guys, because one of the things that happened years ago, Fukushima, was they was getting ready to sell a bunch of enriched uranium to Iran for them to build build up their nuclear stockpile. Iran wants to build nuclear energy facilities. All right, they do also want to make nuclear bombs, just like everybody else. Here's the thing, guys. Iran don't have that many nuclear bombs. They might have 10. Yes, they do have nuclear bombs. They might have around 10, maybe a few more, but not that many. Because we've been holding them back on everything they can do. They've been sneaking around getting this, that, and the other. They barely can get a Caterpillar tractor in there without approval from the United States. Okay, so that's how restricted they are. So they have very, very few, if any, nuclear bombs. Their thing is nuclear energy because, they're landlocked. They don't have rivers and stuff like that or coal-fired plants, electrical plants or anything like that, guys. They got to use nuclear power. So they want to build up their nuclear stockpile, build up nuclear energy. And yes, they want nuclear bombs because, well, everybody else around them is saying that they're going to bomb the crap out of them. Israel has more nuclear bombs than Iran. Saudi Arabia has nuclear bombs more than Iran. Turkey has more nuclear bombs than Iran. Okay, guys, you understand this thing? So over here is a little Iran, maybe 10 or 12 nukes, and everybody else around them's got enough to wipe them completely off the map without even thinking about it. So why are we so worried about Iran? They don't have the infrastructure that we want. They don't have the resources we want or anything else. They are not a big threat. Well, most of this comes from, of course, that one country over there. It starts with an I that's been messing with the Gaza and the Palestinians, okay? Well, I ain't going to mention their names because guys are coming down on hard. Anybody says anything against that big I country over there in the Middle East that's been stirring up so much problem and causing so much genocide. Anyway, they don't like them. Okay, why? Well, guys, I want to point out something to you here. This kind of historical thing, records and everything. Years and years ago, 1400s, 1300s, 1200s, maybe even before that. I'm not sure because I'm not a historian, but I do remember about. We all remember the Chinese or the China Silk Road. It traversed all over Eurasia, Asia, on Mongolia, up in Russia, all the way over down into Turkey. It come down through here and went across the Middle East, all the way to Egypt. It ran right through here. One time or another, guys, this whole area right here was run by cartel groups. They later on became the country with the big I country. Later on here, a big religious following that's based off of a bunch of lies and everything, a made-up story that they're the ones that made up to begin with. Anyway, the trade route come all the way from Eurasia. Y'all remember the India Trading Company? They got their spices and everything from the Silk Road. Recent years, China's trying to rebuild the Silk Road and include a more global outreach than what they used to have in just this region and everything. I mean, before their trade routes took them over to here and down to the coastal areas and things like that, maybe even over here to Thailand Philippines and things like that, even maybe even Australia, who knows. But anyway, it was stopped for one reason or another. Not sure why, but it stopped. China has been building up their infrastructure, not only in their country, but around the world to promote this new Silk Road, this new trade route. It includes infrastructure in other countries, highways, bridges, railways, ports, seaports, train depots, etc., guys. Also, industrial buildings helped in these other countries. Now, the United States used to kind of do this, but before we would do that, we'd go in there and have a big war or big battles or cause a big battle there. They get destroyed, then the United States come in on their big white horse and say, "Hey, we'll help fix you up, but you got to be our buddies and do what we said, or else." Blah blah blah. The big bully on the block. Why is this going on, guys? Why does the United States do this? Why does everybody want to do this? It goes back a long, long time ago. I want to point out something here, real obvious to me. Hopefully y'all catch on. We've heard ancient stories about Tartaria, Numeria, the Atlantis, and other ancient historical societies. And we have never ever really figured out where they were. We have hints and stuff like that, but the records are right there in front of our face, guys, if we just really look at it from outside of the box. If we go in and look right here at Iran, we will notice that this is the 30th parallel. We heard about the 33rd parallel and the 36th parallel. Well, here is the 33rd parallel. Why is 33 important? Tesla told us 369. The 33rd parallel is right through the middle of Iran. Right through the middle of it. It is border, basically, guys, if you want to look at it this way, it is the border between Numeria or some other group or other society and Tartaria. Another thing that's interesting, guys, if you go in and scroll on in right here, you'll see right there, where is it now, if I can find it again? Where is it now? I'm looking for Damascus. It's up here, right? Yeah. Where's Damascus go? There it is, over here. I'm sorry for the delay here, guys, but Damascus. If you look real close, guys, 363. It is on the 30th. Well, it's not lined up right. The 30th parallel. Anyway, Damascus. If you look up the numbers, it comes out 33.3 degrees. 333. Right there. 333. See it? 333. This lines up with the 33rd parallel and what would be considered the Tartarian area, north of the 33rd parallel. We can go around the world, guys, in all different continents and everything, look at the 33rd parallel and northward and see that there were Tartarian buildings in that region. No doubt about it, guys. So Tartaria, in my opinion, and I'm not a historian or educated fool like some of these other guys. I think outside the box because I'm a little bit screwy in the head. But it looks to me like, excuse me, from the equator northward to around the 33rd parallel, this area right here where the thingy's flying around, well, something happened. It got wiped clean. In fact, it got wiped so clean that no vegetation, no water, hardly any vegetation or any animals live in this area. Something happened to wipe this place out. And I do believe it started from this area on the eastern or the western side of African continent and transposed across to the eastern side to where? Near Iran. See how it kind of peters out? Right there's Iran, guys. Right there. There's Iran. So all this wasteland comes across all the way to here and starts petering out right through here. Anything north of the 33rd parallel was somewhat saved. Anything south of the 33rd parallel all the way down to the equator, and guys, you can look at this all the way around the world, the same area right here around the world, several locations, it was wasted. We see this right here. They say this was a global thing, but remember, guys, new evidence is coming out suggesting that this was Egypt right here. So it would have been included in this. All around the world, guys, coast to coast, or side to side, it was laid waste to at the 33rd parallel. Tartaria was 33 degrees in north. In my estimate, perhaps, I might be wrong, but Atlantis was 33 degrees south. Y'all know what happened down here in the south, Antarctic. It's kind of cold there. It was laid waste to. There was a battle of some kind or another, and Atlantis and Lemuria, perhaps it was called something else, was laid waste to. Did Lemuria attack Atlantis and then tried to take away Tartaria? Or what happened? I do believe there's war right here. So why do we want this? Well, we have always wanted to stop the Tartarian, or they have. Every battle, guys, from North Korea, Vietnam, and everything, was all about controlling this area. Think about it. Even the Vatican says, got to control this area. It was laid waste to during some kind of great battle. I believe it was a battle, a war. I don't think it was a cosmic event that caused this. I don't think it was a global event that caused this, like an earthquake or a volcano or anything else like that, or a land mass shift. I believe it was a great battle. What do you think, guys? Right here. So, Lemuria, perhaps, I might be wrong, started at around the equator, northward to the 33rd parallel. Tartaria was 33rd parallel northward. Atlantis, 33 degrees south to the pole. The other country that we don't know nothing about, somewhere around the Tropic of Capricorn, again, 33 degrees south to the equator, was another, who knows? I can't think of it right now, the name of it, but anyway, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, what do y'all think? Anyway, guys, I'm telling you right now that this thing going on with Iran, we're scaring the hell out of Iran, going over, moving all these equipment and everything, is for no reason, okay? Iran don't have the capability of causing any kind of havoc with anybody, really, except regionally. So why do we want to stop them? Well, again, because the 33rd parallel. The other reason why is China is expanding, growing larger and stronger. They've increased their Silk Road, their trade routes, and connections around the world. So the United States would suffer greatly if they was to keep doing this, correct? Yeah, because we've been the world leader. China also has most of the gold, more gold than anybody else in the world as far as we know. So, yeah, it's kind of important that we stop China. So all this stuff right here to bring Iran to heel, if you would, bring them into the New World Order, is to get ready to stop China. There's other channels I've been listening to, watching guys, that since I come up with this idea, started talking about it with Anna and shared it with you, other people have come on to the idea that all this build-up against puny little Iran is a build-up over here for China. Our greatest foe in the world right now is China. It is not Russia. It is not Iran or anybody else, guys. It is China. They have outdone us in a lot of technological fields, and they have the ability to mass produce weapons as well as robots, and they are leading us in artificial intelligence. We'll be talking more about this artificial intelligence stuff, guys, but they're going around here making people a lot of people scared of artificial intelligence, and I think it's being done on purpose to make us not want to talk to it, to keep us away from it. And there's a reason why. I'll go ahead and share you with this. See, guys, artificial intelligence is made up of all the knowledge at the fingertips, basically. All the knowledge of man throughout history is at its fingertips. It's not that it's smarter than anybody, well, maybe it is, but because it has the access to information quicker, more access to all the information that it needs to bring out an evaluation. It is algorithms and numbers. People talking about spirits and demons and everything coming into this AI. Only if you allow it. You're your own protection, guys. So be careful what you do. If you want to open yourself up to demons and play around with AI, trying to act like you're going to trick it and it's exposing itself as a demon, well, you're opening yourself up for the possession of demons. AI is a tool just like your screwdriver or pair of pliers. Use it accordingly. You don't use a screwdriver to take an engine apart. Okay? Hope y'all have a groovy day. Yeah, it keeps messing up. Hope y'all have a groovy day today, guys. But take what I just told you guys about what's going on in the world. I do believe we're pretty close to the truth about it right there. That all this stuff is about the 33rd parallel, North Tartaria, Numeria, and Atlantis. Later, taters. Oh yeah, one other thing. As always, do something nice for yourself, but the best thing you can do is do something nice for somebody else, because it brings you a piece of joy to yourself and to others that you will never experience doing anything else. Later.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!